Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and today we are being presented by Ledyard Wealth Management Services, serving the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region and Concord, New Hampshire area. I'll be joined by Kathy LeClair, head of the Ledyard Private Banking Team, and learn who is an ideal client for private banking. Katherine Nevins from MainStreet BookEnds has a rundown of several books that would make great holiday gifts. Bill Whiteman will join us as we look at the JOSA Jazz concert coming up. And we'll close with Megan Cardillo inviting us to the New London Historical Society's Holiday Open House. But first, these messages from the good local businesses that are supporting today's show. Remember, buying local is an important way to sustain communities and programs we all love.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from Ledyard Bank here in downtown Hanover. Come by and say hi to them. I'm now joined by the new Director of Private Banking here at Ledyard, Kathy LeClair. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, thank you.
Congratulations on your new title. We're excited to hear all about you. First, let's start at the top. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I've been with Ledyard since August.
Fantastic.
And I have been in banking for 40 years. The past 18 I have spent as a senior private banker at a large wealth management organization that was part of a global bank.
Okay, and now you're here at Ledyard since August, so you're coming up on 6 months, which is very exciting.
It is exciting.
So tell us about private banking.
Absolutely, thank you. So in private banking, think of us as a concierge for high-valued clients for all their banking, lending, financial service needs. So what we would do is sit down and take a very personalized and customized approach with our clients' very unique situations. For an example, if I have a client that comes to me and says, I'm thinking about getting a second home in wherever, but I'm not quite sure, should we do it as a mortgage? Should I take it as a home equity on my primary residence? I'm not exactly sure how we should structure it. Well, I'll sit down with that person and just talk through all the different scenarios and ask very specific questions. Do you have a liquidity coming up? Are you thinking about downsizing? So are you purchasing this that maybe someday you're going to be living at?
Oh, interesting.
How many years might you want to keep a loan against that property?
Sure.
And then what I'll do is I'll actually run the numbers and say, okay, so if it's a mortgage, this is what the cost analysis would be.
Okay.
It would cost you X amount of dollars in closing costs. You'd recoup that with the rate, X number of years.
Sure.
If we did it as a home equity, this is what the cost would be. And then we also have a great secured back line of credit that we offer against investment accounts that we hold at Ledyard Financial.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at all three scenarios and really let the client decide what's best for them.
Interesting. And you would put it in front of them for them to make their best decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
How helpful, too, because it's one of the scariest times in your life to make this big financial decision, so you're really there to help them through the entire process.
Yeah, and sometimes I think being able to bring out a solution to them that a lot of people might not even know existed.
Right, exactly.
It's very fulfilling personally.
I'm sure.
And it's like to be able to see that, have that client have that aha moment is exciting.
That is. The other, I'm sure, nerve-wracking part to a lot of viewers is talking about retirement planning. It's another one, I mean, I'm 31, and it's something that people are telling me, are you thinking about that? And it's crazy to think about, but it really is so important to have somebody on your side when you think about retirement planning. Tell us about that.
Oh, absolutely. I actually am passionate about retirement planning. So one of the things I love to do is I'll talk to an individual, such as yourself, a couple, and I just talk it through with them first.
Yep.
And say, what exactly are you thinking about? what do you picture your retirement to be?
Yeah.
You know, and then we start with the basics. What are your needs? You're going to need medical insurance. You're going to need housing expense.
Right.
You know, what do you spend now as a monthly or annual budget?
Right.
And then we'll just kind of break it down. Or do you still have fun little things that you want to do? Many people, almost the first thing of a want is that they have a very specific fun trip planned.
Yes.
When they retire, like, okay, year
Go
one we
celebrate.
retire,
Yeah.
we're going to go, exactly, going to go
Right.
celebrate all
Right.
these years of working.
Yes.
They may still have weddings that they need to pay for.
Right.
There might be college education. They may want to set up a legacy for their grandchildren to pay for college
Sure.
education. So that truly falls under the category of wants.
Okay.
The next one is the fun one, which is wishes.
Yes.
So I always say to them, okay, so if money wasn't an object and you've been putting all this money away for all your working career, what is something that would be like so much fun to do, to have? You know, what's something I've had answers from, I want a sports car,
Sure.
to we want to get a lake house and get a nice boat.
Right.
So it's,
Making
those
sure
are
you
the
can
wishes,
plan.
you
Yeah,
know?
right.
And then what we do is we take all of those needs and wants and wishes, they put them into this great Live Well planning tool that we have. And we set out, like I call it, the retirement roadmap, okay?
Fun.
So we set this little retirement roadmap for them, and we're able to show them scenarios. We can actually get into Social Security strategizing with
Wow.
them. You know, when should I take my Social Security? Is 62 the right age?
Right.
Do I wait until it truly is the year from which I was born, that, you know, that's the exact age?
Right.
Or is it, should I wait till age 70, you know, for
Yes.
tax planning purposes?
Right.
You know, we figure all that into this plan. And then we pull up this screen that shows them their probability of success. And we're able to tweak it, you know, with them live.
So tell me, who is the ideal private banking client?
Absolutely. So really what private banking is all about, think about your medical professionals, professors, especially in this
Yes,
area.
of course.
Getting to meet some of the professors has been wonderful.
I bet.
Your business owner, that individual that is so busy growing their business that they don't have time to deal with their day-to-day banking.
Sure.
You know, they have so much liquidity that's actually in the business itself.
Sure.
We have midlife individuals that are working so hard to build up their wealth.
Right.
To have that person to be with them, to help them through all the different, you know, next steps of their financial planning. You know, that's truly what we encompass.
And then you can really help them look at their needs and then figure out the best plan to help them succeed.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And fabulous that you can do all this with somebody right here at Ledyard.
Absolutely.
Well, Kathy, it was so nice to chat with you and get all this information. If people want to reach out to you, I'm sure all the information is on the Ledyard website for people to explore.
Excellent.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you so
Very nice to
much.
meet you.
Thank you.
When we come back, Katherine Nevins from MainStreet BookEnds will join us with a rundown of some great children and adult books that make some great holiday gifts. Please don't touch that clicker while we introduce you to one of the great underwriters of our show.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
This program is supported by MainStreet BookEnds of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Let's now head down to MainStreet BookEnds in Warner to hear about some great gift-giving ideas. Hi, Katherine.
Thanks, Abby. It's nice to see you and nice to be back here on YCN talking about MainStreet BookEnds. And we often get asked what kinds of things we might recommend during the holiday season. And I'm here just to talk about some of our latest books and some of a couple of the toys that have come in that we're particularly excited about. I wanted to start off by talking about some local authors that have some new publications out, and that's always very exciting. The Anxiety Audit is by Lynn Lyons, and she lives in Concord. She has a very, very busy practice. She's spoken here a couple of times. She's very sought after because her area is anxiety within the family, and I think there's not a family out there that's not coping with this and trying to cope with this right now. Okay, so here in Warner, Matt Forrest Essenwein resides here, and he has come out with many children's books. This latest one is called A Beginner's Guide to Being Human. This one just came out. Wonderful reviews, and my goodness, what a wonderful way to introduce children to the idea of caring for others, being responsible, and mainly, above everything else, forgiving others and forgiving yourself. So he really captures this in the book, and this is his latest one. Also here in Warner, we have David Elliott, and David Elliott is beloved across the country. Everybody, this man has many, many books out for children, and most of them are written in verse, and it's a lovely way to introduce children to that sound that you get from a verse. Now, the rest of these books are in no particular order. It's just things that I love, different books that I absolutely love. This story is not about a kitten. I love this book. Beautiful writing, beautiful illustrations. A kitten arrives, and there's so many people that get involved in trying to protect and take and care for this kitten. It ends with an understanding of how many people came together and cared for each other in the process. This is my nonfiction pick for the season, for this time of year, The Myth of Normal. This is by Gabor Mate, and he is a well-known doctor who's written about ADD and a lot of different syndromes that affect children, a society that is really quite toxic to children, and how we can combat that. I am a huge fan of Jackie Morris. She is an artist and an author, but primarily an artist who lives in Wales, and she has produced so many gorgeous, gorgeous books over the years. This one is the Jackie Morris Book of Classic Nursery Rhymes. So you can kind of tell from the cover how beautiful her illustrations are. We have many of her books here in the store. If you're going to give a child something, a keeper, this would be a keeper. Classic Nursery Rhymes with the gorgeous illustrations from Jackie Morris. So this is my favorite pick for fiction. This is called Fellowship Point from Alice Elliott Dark. I can't tell you how much I love this book. This takes place in two places, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's a series of old Quaker families who have owned and cared for a peninsula up in Maine. So you go back and forth between many, many characters who are very approachable and very, very interesting. And so they have worked really hard to preserve this area up in Maine, but things are changing, and they're changing fast. And so you've got a lot of very interesting storylines going on in here. My favorite cookbook right now is The Mediterranean Dish, and it's by Susie Karadesh, which I probably mispronounced her name because we just know her as Susie in our house, because we're always going to a recipe from Susie. Her Mediterranean dishes are just delicious, they're healthy, and this is our go-to cookbook, and I recommend it to everyone. We also love toys and games, and those for children as well as for adults. Lots of cards and so forth, lots of gifts. Over 30 artists represented from the Warner area in the gallery. So I just want to talk about a couple of new toys that we have in the store that we're particularly excited about. We're now carrying Magnetiles, and anyone who has seen these know how incredible they are. They are a wonderful building mechanism for children, but the interesting thing about Magnetiles is that the entire family gets involved, and I've seen it over and over in many households. So we're really excited. We've got Magnetiles here in the store. So for every child or adult that is amazed and thrilled by geography and going around the world, this is an opportunity to do that. There is an app that you download onto your phone, and with that app and with these amazing Google's mechanism, it's interactive and you're able to actually see the images pop off the screen. You can go into the Eiffel Tower, you can go down the Seine, you can go anywhere. So it's an amazing, interesting way to learn geography and to experience it, and very engaging for children who are particularly interested in technology. So come on down to MainStreet BookEnds and experience all the things that we have here to offer, but during the holiday season especially, there's a lot going on in Warner. Our hours are Tuesday through Friday from noon to 6, Saturday from 10 to 4. But we are doing some extended hours for the holidays, and that will be Saturday the 10th and Saturday, December 17th. We'll actually be open from 10 to 8. So we'll have some extended hours on those 2 days. The next Saturday is Christmas Eve, and we'll be open normally. So please come on by. Our website is MainStreetBookends.com. And thank you.
Thank you, Katherine. Nice to know there is more than just books at BookEnds. And don't forget the other fine businesses in Warner while doing your holiday shopping. When Yankee Chronicle returns, Bill Whiteman from the JOSA Jazz series will join us. But first, these words from another good business that keeps our show coming to you.
The American Red Cross blood supply is at historically low levels this winter, and we're facing a dangerous situation. Hospitals and patients are counting on donors to get the blood they need. Make a life-saving appointment today. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
I'm your host, Abby Peel, and welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. For 30 years, local music legend Bill Whiteman, pianist and vocalist and JOSA director and founder, has gathered top-notch musicians from his rich musical past, whose form is an eclectic blend of funk, pop, rock, and jazz right in Eastman. Tell us more, Bill.
JOSA is now celebrating 30 years of existence. Started back in 92, I think it was, with Rink Mann from New London, and he and I kind of trying to replicate the jazz sessions of the 1930s and 40s with Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker and so forth. People come and sit in and just let it generate into a jam session. And then it ultimately moved to Eastman in Grantham, and we've been there actually the longest at the center at Eastman. And now we have a formula where we back up featured jazz professionals touring the U.S. and the world. And my group, the JOSA Ensemble, backs them up. JOSA standing for Jazz on a Sunday Afternoon. This season, and as you'll see, last Sunday, we had the band I put together is called Back Bay Transit. Has a little bit of a history in that the bass player in it and I were in a band in Boston back in the 70s, and that was the name of it. So we grabbed that, and then grabbed a bunch of musicians that I've played with over the last few years in this area. The second session coming up in December 18th is Paul Asbell, who is a guitarist. It's actually the first guitarist feature I've had, to another first. He's from Burlington, Vermont, and he was the guitarist who played on all the Big Joe Burrell recordings, who resided and played in Burlington. After that, We've got, in the first part of January, Giacomo Gates out of Connecticut, and he's plays in Manhattan all the time, and he's quite a singer. Does interesting jazz songs that like Charlie Parker would have done, but with lyrics. After Giacomo, we've got Donna Byrne with Marshall Wood, her husband and bass player, also the bass player for Tony Bennett, who's now retired. So, but we're always fortunate to have Marshall Wood join us with Donna Byrne, excellent vocalist, and also somebody not to be missed. Then in February, it's Greg Abate out of Rhode Island, tours all over the world, playing a great alto sax, kind of a bebop kind of a guy, and he's just he's a staple. He's been with JOSA a long time, and he comes back every year, and we always look forward to it. And after Greg is Dan Moretti. He was here actually this summer. We did a gig up in Sunapee at the Livery. And he's also he's a tenor player. But he plays they all play the saxes, but he's also from Rhode Island, and I like his style. He's kind of funky. Dan is a great guy to play with. He's been around for years. Then the beginning of March is Sean Montero. So Sean Montero has a sound very similar to Carmen McRae and Sarah Vaughan. Her father was the late renowned bassist Jimmy Wood, who was a veteran of the Duke Ellington Band. So she's a great addition to the lineup for this year. And then there's two more acts. One in the end of March was Christine Fossen. She was at Berklee College of Music. She's also been a JOSA feature in the past, and she's been at Berklee College of Music. That's where she started and was connected with Tiger Akoshi, but she's moved out to out west. And finally, the season ends with Cersei Miller and Dominique Eade, who are absolutely fantastic performers. Cersei's on alto sax, and Dominique is one of the finest vocalists out there. So it's a full season. So the best way to attend and find out information about it is to go on the website, which is josajazz.com. And there's lots of information there. You can even order tickets online. There's ways to email and connect via phone or any of those ways. That's the best way to connect. And for complete details about the address and how to get there, you can get to it online at the website. But it is at Grantham, Easton in Grantham, New Hampshire. So come on out for a season of actually amazing jazz.
Thank you, Bill. In addition to a wonderful afternoon of music, they offer the culinary delights of the Forbes Tavern at Eastman Center before and during the concert with an a la carte menu. When we come back, Megan Cardillo will have an invitation to a seasonal event at the New London Historical Society. But first, these words from a local business that makes this show possible with their supporting gifts. You too can join them by contacting us at info@ycnnow.com to learn more.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. 'Tis the season. Let's hear about the return of a regular seasonal event at the New London Historical Society. Hi, Megan.
This year we're having it on Sunday, December 11th from 3 to 5, and we're hoping there's some snow because Santa will be here in his sleigh for kids to have pictures taken with, maybe bring a Christmas list that they've put together. And we have singers from the elementary school starting at 3:15, and then the Lowe sisters come on at 4, and feel free to jump in and sing along with them. We also have a wreath sale going on where we have 18 wreaths that are coming from Three Rivers Farm in Franklin, and local artists and crafters have decorated them, and they're for sale around the barn. And last year we had every single one of them went, and this year we've had people begging to help decorate. We have local garden club ladies, we have Pumpkin Blossom Farm from Warner, Alley-Oops from New London helping decorate, as well as some board members from the Historical Society, and a few children are decorating wreaths this year as well. There'll be cookies and cocoa, and it's just a lovely way to kick off the holiday season. It's in the Pillsbury Barn at the New London Historical Society, and there's plenty of parking. It's free to the public, and just come and enjoy. The Historical Society has been here for many, many years. It's a small village where we have different buildings that served different purposes back in the day and have always been important to New London. We have schoolhouse, we have a machine shop, we have different barns, we have a lovely transportation building, and you can come visit by appointment, or usually we're open on Sundays depending on the season. And we have events here for the public. We've had weddings this past summer, we have memorial services, or just meetings for anybody who wants to utilize our historical space. Again, this year it's December 11th from 3 to 5 p.m. in the Berry Barn on the property of the New London Historical Society. We'll be selling crafts and holiday items made by local artists as well, but the main thing is just come sing some Christmas carols, get in the holiday spirit, see Santa, and buy a wreath.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you to the New London Historical Society for all the educational and fun activities you provide. I'd like to thank Ledyard Wealth Management Services for hosting us this week and next. As a locally owned management firm, their experts offer a personalized level of investment and wealth management services you won't find at large institutions. We'll meet Susan Renaud, a member of the Ledyard Financial Advisors team, to learn the ins and outs of whether your business is in a position to sell. And we'll close with Carly Bascom from the New England Healing Sports Association for a look at their winter activities. Tune into our live Game of the Week, Friday at 5:25 p.m. as both the Sunapee Lakers boys and girls basketball teams host Newmarket in this doubleheader kickoff of our winter season. You can find it live on NCTV 8 and at ycnnow.com. Replays are every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. and anytime on demand at ycnnow.com. The next live game will feature another doubleheader on Tuesday, December 13th at 4:55 with the Raiders of Lebanon hosting Hanover. Check the program schedule at ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date information on games, Yankee Chronicle, and specials. Join us again next week at this same time for another round of your Who, What, Where, and When show of the Sugar River region. I'm Abby Peel. Stay safe, everyone.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.